Good morning, friends. I slacked off a little bit. I didn't release a new walk and talk this past weekend, so I'm hopefully going to record this quick, do a thumbnail and get it uploaded. But we'll get back to our regularly scheduled weekend drops this coming weekend. But today I want to go kind of sideways on a topic that I think it's very important, kind of pressing. If you're paying attention to the news, a lot of stuff is going on overseas. What does that mean? Well, it means a lot. You have Israel and Iran fighting. You have Russia and Ukraine still doing whatever they're doing, and who knows when that's going to end. You have China pretty much saying, yeah, we back Russia, we back Iran, and you never know what's going to happen with that. So I think it's important for all of us to think about what comes next, like what's going to happen if things truly escalate, Are you prepared? I'm kind of on the fence of what could really take place here. People will say I'm heartless, I'm ruthless, how could I? But listen, I'm 100% put America first. I don't give a flying fuck what's going on overseas. If y'all want to destroy each other and wipe yourselves off the planet, I wish you all the best. I don't give a shit what you're doing. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my family. It doesn't affect your family. We need to focus on fixing America. We can't do that if we're constantly busy fighting everyone else's wars. That said, look, I'm no ex-military. I'm not special operations. I have zero background in that, okay? I'm a health and fitness guy who just happens to have his feet in the firearms and tactical industries by proxy, because I train with a bunch of dudes. I'm friends with a bunch of dudes, and we leverage our skills and abilities. They come to me for workouts and nutrition advice and what supplements they should be taking, things that they can do to get harder to kill. And these are some bad mofos. I always say I'm glad I have you on my side, because I would hate to be the opposition against these guys. But with that being said, where am I going with this? Listen, a lot of you who engage with my content, whether it's social media or you're friends of mine, many of you have zero experience with self-defense, firearms, tactics, etc. Now, with the stuff that's escalating overseas, do I think we're going to see a war right here in the United States? Man, that's a tough one. I'm actually battling internally my thoughts, just going off different scenarios, things that are taking place domestically and abroad. Look, we had a lot of illegals coming through our borders. That doesn't exactly make me feel all warm and fuzzy. It shouldn't to you either. What does that actually mean? Look, we know there are Chinese police stations across the US. Listen, that shit's illegal. We are not China, okay? I don't understand why we allow it. There have been a few that have been exposed. If you're paying attention, you're not watching Fox News or CNN, because they're both puppets. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. Me, I'm an independent. I look at all sides of a story from all sources, and I've come to the conclusion that Fox News and CNN are a bunch of BS. If you listen to anything that they tell you, it's, hey, look what's happened here, so that you don't pay attention to what's happening over here. That's mass media in a nutshell. If you think that they're not run by these big companies that only want you to know certain things or tell you certain things, or that they're not backed by government entities, you're wrong. So, back to my thoughts on, are we going to see anything here in the US? We know, they've said, even on mainstream media, terrorists have been coming across our borders at an alarming rate. How they can have video of certain terrorists, identify them, and then release them into our cities and our towns is mind-boggling. It's almost like, how can I say this without getting on another list? Fuck it. It's almost like the government wants us to become China or to become weak, to let socialism and communism into our country. It's like they're allowing it. Let's let these people in because they'll be able to fight against us, so there's less resistance if they have more numbers. Look, we've never had this many illegal immigrants and terrorists into and among us in this country ever. It's literally been the last few years since Biden said, oh yeah, come on over, we'll bring you in. Yeah, stupid. So, do I think that there are greater probabilities that we're going to have some type of escalation or war here in the States? No. That said, I truly believe that there are cells already within the U.S. that are planning something. They've been foiled before. People have been arrested with different attempts to, have some mass casualty event, whether it's a bomb, whether they were driving somewhere and they were looking to shoot up a place. They have trucks full of guns and ammo and all of that stuff, which, by the way, if you're not carrying a gun every day, you're wrong. This stuff can happen anywhere. People are getting desperate. It doesn't even have to be a terrorist. We have people here in the States who are feeling the squeeze due to inflation and all the issues that are going on. And they're desperate times come with desperate measures, and these people are taking the law into their own hands and doing the unthinkable. So you need to be prepared for that. But what's more of a realistic thing that could be happening here in the US? Again, I don't give two shits about what's going on overseas. It doesn't affect me. I want us to be prosperous. I want us to maintain our freedom. I want us to be able to live in a country that we believe is the best, most powerful, most opening country that allows us to do what we want, when we want, with whoever we want. Allows us the ability to speak freely like this, although big tech is doing their best to silence a lot of us. Our ability to have the Second Amendment to protect ourselves. We've seen what's happened in other places. Look at Venezuela. Hey, we're going to protect you. Don't worry about it. You don't need your guns? Give your guns to us, the government. We will protect you. Nothing will go wrong and crime will go down. Because once we get rid of guns, there won't be any murders or any type of crime because people won't have guns. Newsflash, criminals don't care. They're going to have their guns. And then when they strip you of your guns, the criminals, it's like shooting fish in a bucket. Like, How are you going to stop them, right? You're going to whack them with the broomstick while they're shooting at you? I mean, it's ridiculous. And, you know, look, don't think that that's not trying to come here to America. The government and politicians want nothing more than to disarm you. Why? You're easier to control. Seriously, you got to look at the stuff that's going on other places and question, man, can that happen here? What do we need to do? What can we have in place to stop that from happening? So what are some things that I would recommend you do? Obviously, there are some skills that you need to have. There are some supplies that you need to have. Because again, look, I'm not thinking that, you know, the Russians are gonna parachute out of the sky and come falling down. You know, I don't see this whole, you know, Red Dawn type of scenario where we get invaded. That ain't happening. Not in this day and age. Maybe years and 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 years ago, that was on the table. But that ain't happening today. Nobody's gonna roll up on boats, get dumped off in the water, swim up to the sand and start fighting. That's for the movies, my friends. So, what's more likely to happen? Look, China owns us, whether you know it or not. You can go ahead and do your own research, and by all means, I hope everybody starts going down these rabbit holes and starts looking at things on a deeper level. Don't take what I say as gospel. Go do your own research. And then when you do, then you can say, that Matt guy was on to something. Clearly, he did his research. And I do, because again, I don't trust mainstream media. So what's more likely to happen with China owning us? Even Russia, maybe even Iran. Look, Iran just hacked Trump. Don't think for a minute that today's war and escalation isn't going to simply be a proxy war, a war of technology. If these people can hack into systems, there's no telling what they can do, right? China owns us in the sense that all of the electronics, many of the systems are all from China. They said that they can completely stop transportation in its tracks. They can easily get into our water systems and change that by putting in more chemicals in our water that we don't even know about, right? Or just completely shutting it off. Let's just kill the grid, right? Those are all possibilities. But what if you're not prepared? What are you going to do? Do you have water in case the water becomes an issue? Do you have a way of defending yourself? Do you have food? If there's no electric, how do you survive? In a total grid down scenario, which whether somebody like China hits a button and turns it all off, or someone like Iran or Russia lets loose an EMP over the US. Again, these are all things that could happen. So don't be saying, oh, Matt's got his tinfoil hat on today. He must not have had breakfast yet or his coffee. No. This is stuff that's real. It could happen. Again, I'm not saying I hope it does. I most certainly hope it doesn't. But I would rather be prepared in the scenario that something does happen. So, What can you do? Skills. First and foremost, your health. You are of no use to anyone, including yourself and your family, if you're not healthy. Look, I'm out here getting my walk in, talking to you guys. First thing in the morning. Get it done. Embrace the suck. Do the things that you hate doing, because those are the things that clearly you need to do more of. So, get fit. Get strong. Those two things, along with your health, will start the foundation that you can build upon. You need to be fit and strong and healthy. I mean, look, I did a presentation not too long ago at a Tremendous Dynamics event on how to be harder to kill. And it all based off of your body, your ability to move quickly, your ability to overcome obstacles that involve strength, and your overall health. Look, if you're sick, you're a liability. You're not an asset. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a liability when my family needs me. I want to be an asset that they can rely on, that when the entire world around them seems to be falling apart, they can say, Daddy's got this. Daddy won't let anything happen to us. And you're damn right. So, after your health, your strength, your fitness, look for skills. What skills do you have? Are you good with medicine? Are you good with bushcraft? Are you good with comms, communication? Can you use ham radios? Do you have some type of communication? Do you have something like a Baofeng where you can gather information and you can communicate information should all cell service and phone lines go down? Do you have at least, and I say at least, a month's worth of food and water per person in your household? At least 30 days. Some people are like, if you have 3 days, you're okay. Nope. If you have 3 days, you are in trouble. Sure. Maybe you can only afford 3 days. A 72-hour pack of some sort for everyone in your family. Cool. Get that. That's your starting point. Build upon that from there. So once you have your skills down, can you survive without electric? What do you have to help you with that, right? If I remember, I'll leave some links down in the description for some things that I recommend everybody have. I also have some content over on weikfitness.com. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just drop a link to some of the articles that are surrounding these topics that will let you go in deeper in the stuff that you're interested in versus me dragging this out to, a 60-minute video. It's already long enough. But do you have some type of portable electricity? Do you have a big power station like a Jackery 1000, 1500, 2000? Do you have a Blue Yeti? Do you have a EcoFlow? Do you have something that will allow you to plug in to stay up and running? I'm not talking about your TVs and all of that stuff. Sure, entertainment's good when a crisis hits, especially if you don't have any power. Keeping the kids entertained, keeping yourself entertained would be a good idea. But do you have the necessary skills and preps now? What if something happens today? Now, I'm not saying go out and blow your life savings on stuff, because that's not realistic. But when you have some extra disposable income, start buying things. Buy buckets of food, or get one of those gigantic, I don't know, 5 or 10 gallon, whatever they are, buckets, and put rice or beans in a Mylar bag, throw in some oxygen absorbers, seal that puppy up, toss it in the bucket, pop that lid on. You're good for at least 25 years. And just a heads up, all of these Wise Food Company, Patriot Supply, Peak Refuel, Mountain House, all of these emergency prepper food buckets and stuff, they say they're good for, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. They're good for longer than that. So if you're like, oh man, my 25-year expiration's up on this, I should throw it away. No, keep it. But it wouldn't hurt to buy another one, to have on hand, buy a few, so that you have a constant supply. And then if something does happen, open up the one that technically expired and look at it. Does it look good? When you prepare it, does it look edible? I mean, if you open it up and there's and you didn't secure it enough or whatever, and there's, bugs, that's not a good sign. Or there's clear signs of mold or some type of growth on it, yeah, then chuck that. But they have to put a date on it, and they don't want to make it too long and then have you open it before it technically expires, and then all of a sudden there's something wrong with it, and then they're held liable. So just know that all of those buckets and food preps and whatnot, they're good for way longer than what the date says the expiration is. But guys, this is dragging on. I'm going to drop some links down in the description to kind of piggyback off this topic and keep the conversation going. Like I said, I could talk about this for 2 hours probably. But you need to think about things that are going on right now. What are the likely scenarios? I very much believe our infrastructure is going to be a target. Don't know when, don't know how, don't know by who. I really don't care. The goal is to be prepared for these types of things so that you don't have to worry about it. Dude, my life, I want it to be stress-free. I don't want to have to think about things. I don't want to have to worry about things. I just want to be able to take care of any situation or a scenario that I'm put in based off of my knowledge, my skills, and the things that I've done leading up to it that allowed me to prepare for that type of moment or scenario. So if you guys have questions, dude, I'd love to talk with you guys. Drop some comments. Message me. Head over to weikfitness.com. You can email me through there. But again, I'll leave some links down in the description for some stuff that you can go read and learn some more about. Again, guys, I'm giving information away for free. If you don't want to utilize that information, that's fine. But for the people who actually care about their future, they want to be an asset, not a liability. Hopefully you found value in the stuff that I'm bringing you. With that said, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. Nobody's coming to save you. You are your first responder. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.